Welcome back, everybody. I am here with Mini Kohei. He is the founder of CryptoCrystal. A lot of people I've learned are not actually aware of this. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of those people up until about a month ago. I stumbled across this historic project that was created in May of 2018. It was, I guess, an early play-to-earn game where you're mining these crystals built off of the idea of Bitcoin. And I came across it, I bought a bunch, and then I reached out to Minnie because I really had to learn more. I didn't really know much about it, but I've learned that there is quite a community behind it as this Japanese-inspired project. So thank you for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different directions before I share screen, but for those that are listening and watching, tell us a little bit about yourself, the person or the team behind CryptoCrystal,
Okay.
and how you got into crypto.
Yeah. Firstly, I like to introduce myself. My name is Kohei, and please call me Mini. I'm the name like the Mini Kohei in the Twitter, and please follow me as and okay. And CryptoCrystal was founded in May 2018, and the team is mainly built on the company named Kuon. Currently, its name means it's a sticker company, maybe the largest sticker company in Japan. The total download of stickers, like the Facebook Messenger stickers or something, is 4 billion.
Wow.
4 billion downloads. So they are very familiar with creating the characters and creating the digital IPs. So I say to them to create a new NFTs is a big trend in next few years. So I like to create something like the CryptoKitties in 2018. And but the kitties has a problem to the no. It's interaction to me. I'm the founder of CryptoCrystal, and I also found the wallet company Token Pocket in Japan, and I'm currently in charge of the business development in TOF NFTs. TOF NFT is a multi-chain NFT trade platform. It is the largest trade volume in Arbitrum and BSC and other somethings. It is a Japanese word, but this is bio my token NFT.
Right.
Founders. Yeah. Token Pocket is this. And this is a Web3 wallet, like the Trust, MetaMask, and something. We are running this company for 4 years.
And so you were working on Token Pocket prior to creating CryptoCrystal, but you saw the trend because you were in the trenches per se and decided to go out and build this?
Yeah, actually, I noticed the CryptoCrystal's movement in 2018 because many bots try to apply our airdrop. Then I misunderstand the trend. What a huge amount of users waiting for the dApps or decentralized application. So we like to create a dApps wallet for preparing the movement. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you guys have begun to come back. There was a few different articles that I found. This one from your Medium, which is probably the most content-packed area. It goes all the way back to, you could see here, March 8th, right here, very early.
We like to create the Bitcoin, the digital crystals, digital jewelries in 2018.
Right. So you mentioned earlier that you were inspired by CryptoKitties. Were you a player of CryptoKitties? Were you a big fan? Like most other projects that kind of popped up around 2018 were also inspired by CryptoKitties.
Yeah. It's is same to me. Then I'm very shocked by the CryptoKitties, which is the digital creatures in the world. So I'm very impressed about that, and would like to create something like the. But I guessing the CryptoKitties has the supply problems. Mm-hmm. The supply is, I think, increased to infinity because there no.
Right. It's inflationary. There's at this point there's over 2 million CryptoKitties that exist.
Yeah. So currently the CryptoPunks is only the supply is only 10,000. So it can preserve the values, but in CryptoKitties the number of supply increasing infinitely. It is inflated by year over year. So the value. It cannot preserve the value. So we like to create like the preserve keep the supply with the NFTs. But in that timing, we didn't understand the importance of the restriction of supply. Mm-hmm. Like the Beishi and CryptoPunks, mm-hmm. The 10K supply is a very important thing for the users because only 10K users can get the NFTs for the PFP is a very good narratives for the users.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, scarcity is probably at this point in time within NFTs, the most important trait that a collection can possess because everyone wants, excuse me, everybody wants that sense of belonging, but you also need that sort of status within the collection. So here you could see the chart from March 8th, 2018 that you posted where there is that hard cap. So would it be back then you're on target about having a 10K supply. Was there any sort of thought about this like profile picture PFP identifier? I know it wasn't really that popular back then, but what was
in that timing? We are aiming to create a gamify, like the trading game, or
like Axie kind of.
Yeah. So we like to create the trading game or the card battle game, but unfortunately we cannot get many users like the 300 or 400. But actually at that timing the users is only 300 or 400. So I'm regret to continue to create a game for that, but we were aiming at creating a game for the NFTs at that timing.
Right. And it looks like the mechanics of this game, I'll cover here in a second, but you could see there was a mining component and then there was a token, and you basically pull these, it's almost similar to like Mooncats where there was a mining component to pulling these little creatures out of the lore and the story, which here you have a pickaxe, and then the pickaxes is actually a token, PK, I believe it was called PKE when I was looking in here. Let me see here's how to play. So about a month later, April 20th, 2018, you posted the details to how to play this game. It said you had 50,000 pre-registered players, but you just mentioned there was only there was only a few hundred players that ended up participating.
Yeah, because 5K, 50K users are full of bots.
Yeah. It's the same issue with crypto today, right?
Yeah. At the timing, we are airdropping tokens and like the white list for the users, but many users are rushing to our website. At that timing, I think maybe 1 million page view at the timing. So I believe we can success in this market. But after airdropping, we noticed that what the full of bot. Oh my god.
Oh,
So actually the actual number of users maybe 1,000 or something. So the holder currently the CryptoCrystal holder is 2,000. The half of it was created in that timing.
Right. Yeah. And so here, as we move down, we look, there's about, it looks like the crystals are based off of weight, and that determines some of the rarity. And here you go down to the game concept. So you mine pickaxe. It says the PKX token to mine crystals in the Ethereum network. And you mentioned, just to have, so I have this correct, the team was airdropping the PKX token to the people who'd pre-registered. Yes. Correct. Okay. And then
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then it says for step 2, then you merge. Once you mine the crystals, you could merge more than 2 crystals of identical type to create a much larger crystal, and then you trade the crystals between one another. That seems to be the basic idea of the game. Currently, as we look back at this 4 years, it seems so basic and primitive, but there wasn't really anything back then to look off of outside of this kind of breeding concept that was introduced by CryptoKitties. So one of my questions is, how did you and the team come up with this idea of this game? You were inspired by CryptoKitties and their success, but is there anything outside of crypto that kind of helped form this idea of mining or the introduction within the team?
So firstly, they're inspired by the CryptoKitties, and we are Japanese people, so we love Pokemon and like the other, Tamagotchi. Mm-hmm. So Japanese people used to the concept of growing the digital creatures in the digital world. So we like to create that world to the Ethereum network.
So the idea of evolution. I also grew up on Pokemon. I was a big Pokemon collector. So
so actually, at that timing, maybe the Pokemon Go has a publicity in that timing. So we like to we imagine the future with the NFTs are full of AR world.
Yeah, let's see. Yep, so Pokemon Go 2016, so it was around that time.
Yeah. So it has a publicity, and we would like to create something VR game for that, but it is a huge cost, so we are giving up at the timing. Yes.
Was the token pickaxe, was it available for purchase or trade on any exchange? This is obviously, I think the only DEX that existed back then was like Ether Delta. But also thinking about this is like right at the beginning of a bear market, or kind of like right towards the beginning of the bear market.
Yes. At the timing, we cannot trade this token via Uniswap because Uniswap is not exist in that time. So we can only trade this in Ether Delta. Would you know?
Yeah, Ether Delta. Yeah, that was the first one.
Kidding UX, I think. So the trade volume and the PKs is not so good, so high, and at the timing we ban this all tokens, and we cannot use this token currently.
It's so interesting to see how people go about creating this. Did the team have any sort of funding for this, or was this funded between the team? Was there any outside capital that was contributed or raised?
Actually, we did not fundraise from any token sale. Mm-hmm. This is like the game playing fee, and the company funds about $100,000 for the creating this project and it may be the huge loss for the company at that time.
Yeah, no kidding. It's almost every single GameFi or play to earn NFT game that was introduced in 2018 ended up having an unfortunate, slow, and painful fade outside of Axes, just because most people thought crypto was dead, not just GameFi, but everybody. Bitcoin went down to $3,000 and ETH was at $80, and it was a complete disaster. How it's funny how we can laugh looking at it now, right as we record this, when the entire crypto market is imploding. But we know we'll make it out of this. So coming into some of the characteristics for CryptoCrystals, it says that CryptoCrystals are categorized into 100 different types, such as gold, silver, bronze. While each type has defined traits, each individual crystal also has their own personality, name, as well as genetic information. And this is quite beautiful crystal. Some of these look like gems. When we go to this chart and you look into it, you could see there's literally things from opal to nickel to some words on here that I've never even heard before, beryl and quartz. And so there's a lot of research that had to go into this, but it seems like the team kept it quite realistic in terms of the right properties and minerals that you wanted to use. Was there any reason to keep this like very realistic? Although these crystals are smiling and they look like these cute little creatures, so you're kind of like you're balancing back and forth between the real world and the fictitious digital world.
It's a very good question, but why? We like to create the digital jewelry in the VR and AR world at the timing. Currently, it is called the metaverse. But at the timing, there are no word for metaverse, I think. So,
yeah.
So in metaverse, many people can imagine what it is this when the jewelry is similar to the real world ones. So we did not use any fantasy items like the it is difficult for me to.
Yeah, no problem. From what I gather, the idea was that since the metaverse, the team you were able to conceptualize the metaverse, but there was no word for it. So in order to kind of bridge that, you had to keep some of the real world properties to help that people understand and become introduced to the idea. So now I've moved over to OpenSea as we look through some of the old and vintage articles. You even talk about how, where is it, that May 17th, 2018, you can now trade CryptoCrystal on OpenSea. This was also very early days of OpenSea. Tell us a little bit about what it was like being an early contributor to OpenSea and some of the chaos and desolate kind of nature that existed back then.
At the timing, and OpenSea did not have many trade volume, and many crypto game projects had their own market. But we're from Japan. Japan has a very strict restriction on having the crypto market in the services. So we cannot have the market on our services at the timing. So OpenSea message to us, could we list your tokens on our open marketplace? So okay, of course you can do that. Then they manually get every metadata from our APIs and they list our tokens to OpenSea. The number of tokens may be 7th or 6th ranked in the OpenSea items. So we're we might be contribute to the OpenSea's success, I think.
Yeah, you said that. So they CryptoCrystal rose all the way up to being one of the top collections in the early days.
Yeah. I think so.
I would not be I would not be surprised. These are little cute crystals. Like I said, I came across them. I had to buy them, and right here it says on the OpenSea page, CryptoCrystal is a Japanese NFT gaming and collectibles project released on May 11th, 2018. The shiny crystals have personalities. CryptoCrystal was created by a subproject of Quan Inc., a prominent digital character company based in Tokyo, Japan, which you mentioned, 4.5 billion downloads, and begin to talk about the play to earn and some of the early properties. So here we are looking at all of these distinct crystals, and this collection has 1.8 thousand ETH in volume, 10,000 collection. And if we move a little bit down and look at like some of the highest sales, you can really see what these awesome looking gems are. Connie Douglas, the highest sale is at 9 ETH. Mm-hmm. Is this specific one, is this just something that could be mined, or it had to be combined with a few of the other opals to then spit out this large one?
I think this is not the melted one, because black opal is only 2 exist in this world. So I think they cannot melt it currently.
Okay, yeah, I see that. So I think this one, maybe the diamonds, maybe it's kind of tough to look, but it's cool to see some of these. I love that they have personalities. This is a big question within the historical NFT community, which we could talk about here in a second with the rediscovery. Would you consider CryptoCrystal a PFP?
Good question. I'm very regret to not having the features for every digital jewelries, like the eyes.
Yeah.
like something, the special goods. We are very regret that. So I think CryptoCrystal is not the PFP because the image is the same. Only the trade, like the weight and a name is different. So like the very scarcity one, something like the opal and this paparazzi sapphire and alexandrite is only 2 or 3, so it can be PFP. But many other not so scarce stone is not suited for the PFP, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that we can clear that up. Some of the debate between PFPs, and you brought up a point that I hadn't even thought about. Most people who claim PFP say it has to be from like the waist up or kind of the head up. And if you're showing the feet, it's technically not a PFP. But you mentioned here that the reason why it's not a PFP is because there's literally only 2 properties. It's just the kind that it is and then the weight of it. Yeah. So
there are only 2 properties. So of course it is a non-fungible, non-fungibility. It has a non-fungibility, but not suited for the PFP, we believe. So we are planning to create a new PFP project with CryptoCrystal currently.
That's some hot alpha. That's some hot alpha. Before we move into that, tell me a little bit about the rediscovery, or when CryptoCrystals were brought to life. I'm going to pull up the activity chart here, and I can show you from all time. You have the sales in the very beginning, right?
Yeah. They're very hard times for every NFT project. 3 years maybe. And after Axie Infinity's waves last year, some historical NFT traders called Original Gangster OG 2018 teams has featured some projects like the ETHLock and I'm not how to say Mooncats.
Yep.
And the CryptoCrystal or something. So we can ride the wave.
Yeah. So Mooncats, Mooncats is like my project that I'm most closely tied to. Kind of sparked off this like archaeology wave, and then it looks like somebody came around. It looks like on August 2nd there was 9 sales, and then you move to August 5th and there's 25 sales. And then when you come over to August 24th, there's 1,000. So it looks like it was some hidden alpha for a little bit, and then once the community got a hold of it, everyone just started buying everything up. What was it like from your end to see CryptoCrystals revived? And as NFTs begin to become a little bit more popular, did you think about CryptoCrystals and think about revisiting the project, or did you have to wait until this massive volume came in to kind of come back to it?
I was amazed at time. What happened to my wallet? And I installed Ethereum in my wallet, and it's push my notification for every 1 second, and OpenSea mailed to me every 1 minute. So like I think the 100, 200 mails come to me with the offer with bot. So I'm very amazed at that, and I also feel start at the very early timing is very good. So every early adopters can earn something. And I think the many crypto holders can get some money from this trend. That is a very good thing for a project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's every creator of a vintage project always has this crazy story where you're doing nothing, and then all of a sudden the notifications start swarming, and you're trying to figure out exactly what's really happening. So we saw this candle on the 24th that had about 1,000 sales, and then I noticed here 2 days later on August 26th, the team put out the first article in about 3 years. Yeah, July 19th, 2018. Then the next one was August 26th, 2021, discussing that CryptoCrystals are public domain. And for those that don't know, public domain is CCO. So the first sentence up here, hello, CryptoCrystal collectors. After careful deliberation, the CryptoCrystal founding team has decided to make CryptoCrystal collection public domain, no rights reserved under CCO. So there's about 2 days between everything went ballistic to putting out this small article. What was the decision behind going CCO versus limited commercial rights or full commercial and personal use?
Yeah, this is a background. We have no pre-mint. We have no pre-mine, so only the holder can get earnings from from this CryptoCrystals. So we need to be the community art blocks, not nouns or something. So I'm sorry. Creative Commons 0 means that allows every user to use any usage for our IPs. Then the IPs can used by everybody, and it can get publicity, and it can exposure. Then the IPs popularity grows. Then the demand for these NFTs grows. Then we are also the holders of the crystals, so we can get value up. So we think the CC0 is very good for our tokens. Because we did not selling any other crystals in the future, so CC0 is very good way for us. I think so.
Yeah, it's there was the NFTs community before this massive drop in sentiment and price was talking about CCO summer, right? MFers was kind of like the big one to utilize CCO. Then Nouns was also popular, and there's been a bunch of others that have followed suit. From the statement from the article, it says that starting today, anyone is free to use the original CryptoCrystal collection for any reason and without restriction, personally or commercially. This includes any selection of pieces, components, or characters within the CryptoCrystal collection or the collection as a whole. Basically meaning that anybody can take any crystal, whether you own it or not, and you can use it and for personal or commercial use to profit, which basically means that anybody has the ability to market it. So you definitely increase the potential opportunity for those to take the crypto crystals and market it in whatever fashionable way possible. It's a grand gesture from a creator to turn their project into a CCO, because now you can't sell the IP like we saw with CryptoPunk selling to Yuga Labs. This is now a community-owned collection. And moving to the end of this article caught me by surprise because I saw that it was a domain, but then you mentioned that you and the team were creating a DAO, right? While the CryptoCrystal IP will belong to the public domain, our team wants to provide resources that will help turn the crypto crystals into a mimetic force across the metaverse. Goes on to talk about establishing a DAO, talking about distributing the IP, and a little bit more lingo. Can you shed a little bit more light on what the intentions are of the DAO and the progress from when this was first publicized in August of 2021 to current today in May of 2022?
Yeah, I feel the DAO is very difficult for everybody, especially the historical projects, because many Thais has rushed into the users our Discord. Like the 6,000 users coming in that weeks or something, but after weeks, the whole of them missing from our Discord. So it's very difficult. So, but we can get some members, some enthusiastic members. So we like to create games. We like to create like the sandbox. At the time, would you?
Yeah, I have right here.
Yeah. Like these sandbox collaboration, and we like to also create a game. So the DAO is for the. Actually, we have not get the earning from the buying or selling something.
The royalties.
The royalties. So we like to create a second movement in the crypto crystals in the future. So we ask the community members to enhance our community's powers and crypto crystal IP's powers. So we like to create a DAO.
That's yeah. I've learned also that DAOs, although sound very utopian-like and level the playing field, unfortunately, most of the time the work ends up in the hands of like two individuals, where dozens of others then kind of reap the benefits of the works of a few. Right? It's like the class project when you're in elementary school or middle school. One person does all, and everyone still gets a good grade on it. It's never fails. So how did you establish this relationship with Sandbox in creating these crypto crystals? Do you think Sandbox is the right direction? Was this something that the team took on, or is this something that the community decided to put effort into and move forth on?
Yeah, community does not vote for the sandbox. We decide to move on creating some metaverse project with our IPs because from the 2018s, we were dreaming of creating the metaverse project with the CryptoCrystal IPs. So it is a good partners for us, the sandbox.
It does seem like the metaverse is kind of the ultimate outcome. Here it is, the CryptoCrystal. So they're selling right now for about $250.
Regulatory, unfortunately, is not so many trade volumes. So we need something, but in any way, we need the game in sandbox. The sandbox is very alpha services, so they have not any playing field currently. So after they have the playing field for all those tokens, then it will be sold. I believe.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned, is that the team behind CryptoCrystal's strength is dabbling in metaverses and utilizing IP in various ways. That's what we had it on the website. It said that, which is quite cool. I tried clicking on the CryptoCrystal app at the website seemed to be down.
Oh my god. Okay, I will ask my devs.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Why? Yeah. I tried clicking on it.
I think this is a Web3 application, so it is very small files needed, like the S3, only S3. So the maintenance cost is only maybe $1 for 1 month or something, but oh my god.
Hey, it's no worries. There's a reason why we're a historical project, right? We can literally just sit there and collect our value and and move on from there. But I'm sure once this is posted, the app will be running back up. But tell us a little bit about what the app is.
This is a portfolio app. It can display the holdings crystals. And currently, we restrict any functionality, minting, melting, and trading. So it's only display your holdings crystals.
Right. You limited the functionality. And we've seen this also with many other historical projects. You limit the functionality to kind of preserve the historic value, the vintage value, the collector's value.
Many community members asked us, banning your crystal, restricting your the whole total supply. Okay, we believe that. So,
oh boy, yeah, that's quite fun. And the Discord has some traction in there. I was dabbling in it. I'm excited to check out that the older website. Do you still own any crystals? Does the team still own any crystals?
Oh. Yeah, we maybe have 2% or 3%. Maybe the TAC has 8% of supply. So many users, many crystal holders asked us not selling the crystals, but the TAC is not currently core devs, so we cannot stop him to selling something. So this is I think that this is many historical projects has similar projects.
Yeah.
At the timing, the core devs is apart from our project, then we cannot control him.
So two things. One, I noticed you're here on this project that you work on, Token Pocket. There's something called, and this is just for my own curiosity, ERC-223. What I've never heard of that standard before. Is that
Okay,
what is this?
I think this is the expansion of ERC-20, but
It's an expansion.
Yeah, but I think we should be modified this after 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
ERC-223 is eliminated from the ERC, I think.
That's what I thought too. I was like, this is unfamiliar, but although in this crazy crypto world, I learn something new every day. I'm just a doofus with a microphone who's trying to figure out everything. Tell me, you mentioned this a little bit towards the middle of our recording. You mentioned that there was a future project that was going to tie in CryptoCrystals with the IP or some sort of metaverse integration. Do you know what I'm talking about? You touched on briefly in the middle of the conversation. Just wanted to focus a little bit on like the future of CryptoCrystals. Is it just going to be a pure collectible, or the community who owns it? Is there something to look forward to with the growth of these historic projects?
Yeah, I believe the future of CryptoCrystal. CryptoCrystal is cute and has attractive values in the pictures, but it is not suited for the PFP. So we like to create a second project for the CryptoCrystal, with the new IPs, and it aims to create a Japanese anime.
Mm-hmm.
Kuon, the CryptoCrystals, mainly supported by the Kuon company. The Kuon company is very strong connection with the Japanese anime fan studios.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to create a maybe Azuki. Azuki is decreasing very drastically, but like Azuki, we like to create a Japanese anime and crystal motif PFPs, and it can also attract many users, and it let the users know our CryptoCrystal IPs, and the CryptoCrystal IPs will be the community tokens and the community gateway for those new PFP projects like that. So, and also I have creating the hack slash games with the blockchain game.
Mm-hmm.
Mini Dungeon. Mini Dungeon is built on the GKSync, and it will be released in the Q2 or Q3 in this year. And I believe we will let the Crystal users use the Crystal on our games. So there are two things with the games and with the PFP project. We will attract more people, and we'll let you know the information to the users.
I have to say, a companion or a secondary anime PFP, a PFP anime secondary drop that's attached to CryptoCrystal sounds highly appealing, I have to say. Before Azuki, there wasn't really that many like anime kind of established PFPs, but now we see that there's actually a large demand for it. So that's highly encouraging. And then using my crystals in a game that's created by Mini and Co. Is also something that I look forward to. So if you are a CryptoCrystal holder, or you could go pick one up, as you saw, the floor is 0.05 ETH, just to join the party, join the fun, enjoy these very early Japanese NFT projects. I believe from my research, I think CryptoCrystal might be the third or fourth Japanese NFT project. There's are you familiar with there's Memory Chain on Bitcoin. There's Bit Girls and
maybe the first one in Ethereum,
yep.
And maybe the third or fourth in the Japanese crypto crypto market. Oh, okay.
Yeah, quite amusing, I have to say, my friend. You're right around the same time as a few other early geographic pioneers, like Panda Earth was the first Chinese NFT project, which has come around the same time. And then you still have, I'm trying to think of the other play to earn games. There's Hedgie is around the same time as you, Axie is around the same time, and there's a few other ones. So truly amazing. You're in some good company. So, but Minnie, I don't want to take too much of your time up. I really thank you for sharing your time and sharing some of the history of CryptoCrystal. It is quite confusing at times for some people, but for you to come on and to put a face to the project and to the smiling, beloved gems that exist on the Ethereum blockchain, we thank you for your work.
Yeah, I highly appreciate your interview in this timing. We are very glad to joining this very good movement.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Minnie, and everyone who made it this far. Please hold together. The market is definitely falling apart, but I think the historic NFT community is going to be one of the strongest survivors because we are a community of collectors and not as much of flippers. And so we can sit here and just have fun and just learn and maybe anger each other a little bit debating on semantics. But again, thank you again. Minnie, always feel free to reach out to me in the historical community. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you.